want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. Now, just in case anybody wants to have personal feelings or feel a certain type of way about the story that I'm reading directly from articles that are accessible online at any time, um, I am no way trying to spread any type of misinformation at all. But what I am directly telling people is that people who have their own bodies, that they are and should have the rights to decide on what enters and what does not enter into their body. Everybody is able to make a medical decision for themselves or maybe for other people that they have guardianships over or the rights directly over legally. That's the only thing that I'm saying. So again, to YouTube and any of those other individuals out there that like to flag videos like this, nobody's trying to spread information, but people are just trying to bring awareness to a variety of things and stories that are taking place around the world. A New Zealand High Court judge has ruled in favor of health authorities who sought guardianship of a baby boy after his parents refused to consent to a transfusion of vaccinated blood in a life saving operation. The landmark decision delivered on Thursday is expected to have wide ranging ramifications and has become a focus of protest for anti vaxxers who held demonstrations outside the courtrooms. The 6 month old, known as Baby W, will not survive without urgent surgery for a congenital heart defect. His parents stated that they are unwilling to proceed unless they were given a guarantee that he would only receive blood from unvaccinated donors. New Zealand's health authorities and blood services argued that allowing the parents to refuse vaccinated blood would set a dangerous precedent in which patients could demand to pick and choose where their blood came from. The High Court decision placed the boy in the guardianship of his pediatric heart surgeon and cardiologist for the purposes of consenting to surgery to address the obstruction and all medical issues related to that surgery, including the administration of blood. The guardianship will last from Wednesday until completion of his surgery and post operative recovery, likely to be January 2023 at the latest. The parents will retain guardianship in all other matters. In previous interviews, the parents have stated that the baby needed surgery almost immediately, but that they were extremely concerned with the blood the doctors are going to use. The judge noted that the New Zealand's blood service had presented evidence from the past 6 months of a significant increase in potential blood recipients asking for blood from unvaccinated donors or asking about direct donations. Similar trends have been noted in other countries. The case was filed by the Auckland Health Service of Te Watu Ora in a statement last week. Interim Director Dr. Mike Shepard stated the decision to make an application to the court is always made with the best interest of the child in mind.
In Auckland, where a decision is out in the baby blood donor battle, the judge releasing his ruling just moments ago. Logan Church is at the High Court in Auckland for us. What can you tell us, Logan?
Kia ora, Simon. Justice Ian Galt has just approved the application by Te Whare Ora Health NZ for guardianship of the baby to be transferred to the courts for this urgent heart surgery to proceed. Now, this judgment came out about 60 seconds ago, and we haven't had a chance to go through the 20-something pages of reasoning behind the judge's decision, but what it does make clear is that this is a temporary order. It will expire at the end of January next year, and the parents are also to be kept informed throughout this entire process. Now, the parents want this surgery to happen. That wasn't the issue here. The problem for them were the blood products that would have to be used in the surgery and supplied through the New Zealand Blood Service. They wanted an assurance from the Blood Service and from the doctors at Starship Hospital that the blood used in the surgery would not come from anyone who has been vaccinated against COVID-19. That creating the impasse with medical professionals who disagreed. That led to an urgent hearing just yesterday here at the High Court in Auckland. But today, that decision from Justice Ian Galt, the surgery can now proceed.
So, going by another article online, they stated that just an Ian Galt rejected alternatives proposed by the child's parents, including setting up a blood donation service of unvaccinated donors, as it is unviable, noting that there is no scientific evidence of any risk of blood transfusion using blood given by vaccinated donors. From another article, according to an interview with the parents are not refusing medical treatment and agree with the doctors who stated that their baby needs immediate heart surgery. They just wanted to donate their own blood from their own donors, and they claimed that they already have more than 20 pediatric donors who have been screened and could donate their blood for the needed surgery. So I just want to say shout out to the parents out there and the other people that want to stand their ground on having a choice on where specifically they will get things from when it deals with surgeries and so on and so on, because it is your body and or it is your child, and you as a parent should fully have 100% right to choose where it is that your child is going to get organs from or blood from or whatever, because those things are going to impact that child for life, or they're going to impact you for life. Like I said before, if at any point in time that somebody needs a blood donation and the blood is coming from somebody who is a drug addict or anything of that nature, you would want to know that, because there are potential risks associated with somebody who is a drug addict, such as needle usage, such as transmissions of STDs or STIs, or a variety of things that you might be unaware of. But due to the fact that you need the surgery, the hospital's like, hey, well, this person does have a history. They are, a user. We tried to, clean out everything as best as we could, but this person needs it now, so we're going to give it to them. And, if anything else happens after that, then they'll just have to take these medications, but at least they're alive, right? And that's how the hospitals will, in a sense, look at it. They will override everything else in order to get to their, quote unquote, end goal. My main thing is this: regardless on if the parents' information is unfounded or not, if the parents already had 20 donors ready and they were already screened and they could easily give the blood directly to the child, I don't see why it is that the hospitals would actually have any type of a problem. They could very easily screen the blood lickety split with no type of problems. They have all of the medical tools in order to do it, in order to make sure that the blood is fine and the blood is a match, and to make sure that there are no other types of things there. They could easily sit up there and do it. The hospitals just decided that they didn't want to do it, that they wanted full reign and authority in order to do the things that they specifically wanted to do. And that's something that I 100% disagree with. Like I said before, the parents stated that they had 20. Now, if you go and read a lot of these articles, they're not going to state that. If you happen to look in some places on social media, you will happen to find these things out, because, as noted, the media will leave out a lot of important information, because, they have their own thing that they specifically want to push and put directly out there. My main thing that I've always stated to people is just be aware, be fully knowledgeable of the things that are directly out there. If you want to go out there and, go get something, then you can go do it. If you don't want to go get something, then you don't have to sit up there and do it. People should have their own choices in what it is that they want to sit up there and do with their body. Case in point, their body means that they have ownership, that they have possession, right? But the main thing that I've always tried to tell people is that regardless of whatever you believe or feel, you don't have 100% oversight, right, over your own body, over your own health, over your own child, especially. I've covered videos before where, people who work for quote unquote the hospital, because parents, did not want to have a birth at the hospital. People decided that they wanted to come to the house with police, forcibly enter the house and take the child directly away from the parents, and then do whatever it is that they wanted to specifically do. So this further shows the overreach of the medical industry and the government when it deals with people and when it deals with children as well. The main thing I always tell people is that you do not have full ownership of your child. You just don't. The government owns your child. If the government wanted to come into your house and take your kids, they could legally do it because they have laws that enable them to do so. And there's nothing that realistically anybody can, in a sense, do. And they know this, right? They just don't enact them and enforce them, automatically. But in some cases, in some instances that we know of, the government has enacted these things and done so. Um, so, again, this happened in New Zealand, right? Far off yonder, right? And if this could happen clear cut in New Zealand, who's to say that something like this could not take place in the United States of America? Just food for thought.